Okay, you guys, so last month I got invited by Poshmark to participate in their Promoted Closet beta program, and I have some thoughts. I also have some numbers, and I'm going to compare it to eBay's promoted listings. So if that's something you're interested in hearing about, keep on watching. Hey guys, it's me, Kay, and you've arrived at my weird little corner of the internet. Welcome. If you're new here, I'm a part-time reseller, mostly on eBay and Poshmark, which is what this video is going to be about. I do also sell locally at an antique mall and occasionally make sales on Mercari and Depop, though it's been a few months for those. But like I said in the intro, this video is really about Poshmark's beta closet program, or promoted closet beta program rather. And I'm also going to compare it to eBay's promoted listings. I realize that they're not exactly a one-for-one match, but this is what each platform offers. So let's dive right into these stats, how it worked for me, what are my thoughts, am I going to continue using it going forward? Let's dive in, like I said. So I have a handy dandy notebook here with some numbers for you. So Poshmark Promoted Closet Beta. As of right now, since it's in beta testing, it's an invite only. You had to fill out a form. They asked for certain information like closet size, how many listings do you list per month or per week, something like that. And then they invited people at different times. So a friend of mine got invited, I think, 1 or 2 weeks before I did, and Poshmark offered me 4 weeks for free, and I took advantage of it. And then I also paid on my own for a week, and it just finished up, and I wanted to come on here and share my thoughts. So the first day of the Promoted Closet experience, I guess we could say, was June 25th. So these numbers that I'm going to give you first are from 6/25 to 7/22. Those are the 4 weeks that I didn't have to pay anything, and Poshmark just did its own thing. So the way that Poshmark's Promoted Closet program works is you can't like pick and choose which listings get promoted. Everything just gets promoted, and it's all done via what buyers are searching for in the little search bar on Poshmark. So if they're searching for something that one of your listing fits and you're in the Promoted Closet program, then your listing will get bumped up in the search, and it's supposed to help increase sales. As far as eBay, eBay has a promoted listing feature. So basically you can go in and you can pick and choose on eBay. That's the difference. You can pick and choose on eBay which items you want to promote. If you want to promote everything, you can do a blanket promotion for everything, which is what I do. I blanket promote everything at 5%, which kind of bumps it up to about the same percentage if a promoted item sells anyway on eBay. So it makes it almost even to the 20% that Poshmark takes when all things are considered as far as the fees go. But you can choose to promote certain categories at different rates, and eBay gives you a lot more, you know, kind of customization that way versus Poshmark. So that's a difference to take into account when you're deciding to move forward with the Poshmark program. So the minimum spend per week on Poshmark, because it's weekly, is $30. The maximum is $500. I don't know why anyone would want to spend $500 a week to promote their closet on Poshmark unless you have like an absolutely ginormous store, but that's besides the point. When you're in the beta program, you cannot change your budget per week. It's just automatically that $30 mark. And here is how it went for me. So right now we're talking about 6/25 to 7/22. Those are the 4 weeks I was in this program. So my minimum spend was $30 per week. In total, for those 4 weeks, it was $123 spent. I'm gonna insert a photo here so that you guys can see it for a few while I'm talking in the background. So $123 spent, and that resulted in $403 in sales. So week 1, I spent $30.32 for 709 clicks. Week 2, I spent $26.59 for 487 clicks. Week 3, I spent $31.14 for 567 clicks. And week 4, I spent $30.95 for 598 clicks. So the first week had the most amount of clicks, and then it went down to under 500, and then the last 2 weeks were over 500. So as far as clicks are concerned, week 1 was the best. As far as spend is concerned, week 3, I spent the most, $31.14. So the total was $119, 2,361 clicks. In total, the impressions for that time period of 4 weeks was 117,060. I sold 14 items during that 4-week period on Poshmark, and that makes my average selling price, or ASP, $28.78. So from $403 in sales divided by 14 is $28.78, and my return on ad spend was 3.2. So I 3 times my money, basically. This is not net earnings, this is just gross sales numbers, because that's how they give it to you in the Poshmark Promoted Closet beta. All right, so compared to eBay, for the same time period, 6/25 to 7/22, I have, again, 5% promoted listing rate across the board. Every single listing, there are over 900 of them currently in my eBay store. All of them have 5%. So for that same time period, I spent $37.06 and resulted in $535.91 in gross sales. My impressions, I don't have an amount of clicks or like a week by week. I didn't do it that way because I wasn't technically spending money on Poshmark, but my impressions are way different on eBay. So my impressions were 1,786,499 versus only 117,000 on Poshmark for the same time period. I sold 22 items that were promoted listing sales on eBay. So that's 8 more than I sold on Poshmark. $535.91 divided by 22 gives me an ASP of $24.35. So my ASP was about $4 lower on eBay. But my return on ad spend was 14.4, which is 9 times higher than Poshmark for the same amount of time. So looking at these numbers, it's easy to see that I spent way less money, spent way less money on eBay for more sales. So as of that first month, eBay is looking better. Now, we're gonna talk about the time period of 7/23 to 7/30, and that's when I use my own money to pay. So Poshmark will just charge your debit card or credit card, whatever you have on file in your Poshmark account. At the end of the week, they calculate exactly how much you spent. You shouldn't go over. If you do, it'll be like $1 or $2, but it should roughly be within that budget that you set. So I kept it at $30, even though I could have increased it. And we'll talk about that a little bit later, but I kept it at 30. That way I could compare the same amount of dollar value between the 4 weeks that I got for free and the 1 week that I paid for it. So with 1 week of paid promoted closet on Poshmark, I spent $29 of my actual real money, and it resulted in $238 in sales. So that's a lot better return than $123 of Poshmark's money, resulting in $403 in sales. I had 671 clicks and 25,316 impressions. I sold 7 items in this time period, so half of what I sold in the whole 4 weeks prior, just with promoted. Obviously, I'm making other sales during this time period, making my ASP $34. That's an 8.1 time return on ad spend. eBay, same time period again, 7/23 to 7/30. I spent $5.18, resulting in $62.96 in sales. I sold 5 items, so only 2 less than on Poshmark for the same week. I had 365,271 impressions. That's over 300,000 more impressions on eBay. And my ASP was only $12.59. So that's definitely a big drop in ASP between Poshmark and eBay for that week, but my return on ad spend for eBay was 12.1. So again, eBay shows here, just if you look at the return on ad spend number, it's 4 times more on eBay just for that 1 week. Yes, Poshmark did better in the amount of sales, but I also spent more. I spent almost $30 for $238 in sales versus spending about $5, which is, you know, like a coffee, into almost $63 in sales. So, thoughts? It's obvious that impressions are much higher on eBay. I mean, eBay is a larger platform. It's global. As of right now on Poshmark, you can only sell to US buyers if you're a US seller. I don't know if that will at any point change in the future. Return on my spend, much higher on eBay as well. However, I'm happy to pay $30 to get $238 in sales on Poshmark, because Poshmark has been way better for me overall for all of 2023. In 2022, and I believe also in 2021, eBay was bae. Loved eBay. It was everything. That's where I made the bulk of my money. But since the beginning of 2023, that is wildly different, and Poshmark is way up in comparison to eBay. And to be fair, I'm listing exactly the same amount of items on the 2 platforms. I list them at the same time, same day, same items. So even though I'm a majority clothing seller, it's very oversaturated on eBay versus Poshmark, which is, well, it was originally intended to just be a fashion selling platform. So the trendy buyers are there. People go there to look for clothes. Yes, they have added more categories since its inception. You can now list like toys and electronics and all kinds of stuff on Poshmark. I even listed like calculators. I listed an iPad on Poshmark. So other things sell there besides clothing. So I do take that into account when I look at these numbers, knowing that my clothing items, which is the majority of what I sell, are more than likely gonna sell on Poshmark versus eBay anyways, just because of the nature of the 2 platforms. Most people on eBay are not looking for clothes, they're looking for other random stuff, which is why the majority of the sales that I make on eBay are like Funko Pops or little tiny electronics or plush. I don't sell as much plush on Poshmark. Like, it's far and away eBay for my plush sales, but you have to think about those things when you're doing this type of comparison and review. But yeah, I'm happy to spend $30 for $238 in sales. I also think, and I talked about this with my friend who also has been doing the promoted closets on Poshmark, and we're both in agreement that we think the longer you're in the program, the higher your sales are going to be, the higher your return on spend is going to be, because Poshmark wants people to use this feature. There have been several bigger resellers in the Instagram community that I know of that have stopped using the program after like a week or 2 of spending their own money, and their sales have completely tanked. Poshmark is going to push your closet and your listings if you're participating in this program and spending your own money. So is it worth it? I think it is. I don't know that I would ever do more than $50, which is what the suggested spend is per week for my closet size. I'm trying 40 from today on, because this was the last day of the week that I spent the $30. So I'm increasing it to 40 to see how that goes. Maybe 50 would be my max. I don't think I'd ever go higher than that. But I do think it's worth it. And I have also, on top of making the promoted closet sales, I have also sold a lot more stuff on Poshmark, because it's bringing traffic to your closet. So it's kind of like a win-win. You're spending a little bit of money to make some sales, but you're also bringing in more buyers overall. So you're also making sales that aren't related to the promoted closet. and that's always a benefit in my eyes. I am just part-time, so any extra money coming in is awesome for me. And I honestly think that because I started this program right at the tail end of June, that's a big factor in why my July has been pretty good for me. I beat May, which was pretty decent for me. January so far has been the best month for me in 2023. But as you know, if you've watched my channel for any length of time, the last month or two, June was horrible for me because I spent a lot of time focusing on my daughter and her health. But July has been awesome all around. Even the booth has been good in July, but that has nothing to do with this video. Just a comment. So yeah, I mean, my paid week of Poshmark was much better than the 4 weeks that I got for free. Honestly, not surprised because, you know, Poshmark is what it is and they reward you for spending money. Am I gonna keep doing it going forward? Yes, like I said, I am increasing to $40, and if you guys wanna see another like update video in a few weeks or maybe a month of how it's going after spending $40 a week, so that's what, 40 times 4 is what, $160 per month, which it's a write-off on your taxes as an expense, so take that as you will. This is not tax advice, but it's a write-off. So yeah, it kind of sucks that it's gonna take at least $30 a week for you to use this platform, use this feature on Poshmark. That's not great. I wish it could be less. I'd maybe want to spend like $15 per week. That would probably be $15, $20 would probably be where I'd want to be at. But I'm all for making more sales. So if $40 gets me to where I would like to be on Poshmark, I am happy to do that. So yeah, eBay return on ad spend is greater. We already talked about the $30 minimum, $500 maximum. The cost per click through Poshmark, because I didn't have that information from eBay from what I could see. The cost per click is 5 cents. Year to date, since I started the program 5 weeks ago, it's been 5 cents per click. I know there was some concern in the reseller space that, you know, people could like spike click your promoted listings, but that's not exactly how it works. You have to search for stuff and then look at everything that's promoted, which is going to be up in the search. And I don't know, I just don't think that that's really a thing. So I wouldn't worry about it. If I were you, 5 cents per click, I'm fine with that. My click-through rate on Poshmark for year to date, 2.35% versus eBay, which is only 0.2% for a click-through rate. My conversion rate year to date on Poshmark is 0.61, which would be people click on your promoted listing and then purchase it, versus eBay, 1.3%. So it's a bit higher on eBay, but again, I'm making more sales, at least monthly. I made 8 more sales on eBay versus Poshmark and only spent $37. So take that as you will. So in short, yes, I definitely think it's worth it. If you get invited to the program, please take advantage of it. I think it'll be very beneficial to you. I know there is some kind of controversy online. Some people are not getting 4 weeks, some are only getting 2. I'm assuming it has something to do with closet size and how much you bring into Poshmark sales wise. But I don't know what the parameters are for that. But regardless, if you get invited to the program, I really recommend that you try it out. I also would suggest that you give it a few weeks of your own spend after the Promoted Closet like beta free program runs out, just so you can kind of compare. Because if I'm looking at my own numbers and I spent the $120 roughly for $400 in sales, then you also have to take into consideration the 20% in fees that you're paying to Poshmark. That's not a great return for me. It's still 3 times my investment in the ad spend, but I don't know if I would have kept going with that if I hadn't done a week of my own, because then I went up another 5 times and 8 times my investment. And I think that's much better overall. So I'm hopeful that going forward, as I continue to use the promoted closet program, that I'll make even more sales and maybe my return on ad spend will increase. My friend that I was talking to earlier today, she's at 16.1, I believe, % return. So that's awesome. I would love to see that, and we'll see how it goes in the future. So like I said, if you want me to do maybe an update in a month or so and let you know how it's going, if I'm going to still continue after another month's worth of spending my money, please let me know in the comments. I am happy to do that, but I just wanted to get some of this information out there for you, because I know a lot of people have been asking questions about promoted closets and how it works. And Poshmark honestly hasn't given too many details into how it works. All I can say is that when someone searches, you know, Burberry trench coat, just as an example, because I know I have one over there that I still haven't listed. If you are in the promoted closet program, your listing will be bumped up to the top of the search. I don't know if you go higher versus, like, if you spend more in your budget per week, are you higher in the search? I don't know that information. All I can tell you is my specific numbers and how it's been working for me. So turning $30 into $238 in sales was great for me. But that's it for this video, guys. I hope you got some helpful information from this. If you have any further questions, please leave them in the comments down below. I am happy to answer them as best that I can. Most of you guys know that I am not a huge Poshmark fan. I even did a whole video on my channel a couple years ago about why Poshmark sucks, and I was possibly going to break up with them, and I think that's the most viewed video on this channel. So I'm definitely about them, but I do think that this is a really beneficial tool and everybody should use it. I do, however, think that they should maybe roll back the minimum spend a little bit, because not everyone has a 1,000 item closet like I do. So, you know, you gotta make things available to everyone versus just a small group of people, in my opinion. But that's how Poshmark is. But anyway, that's it for this video. Again, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I'm happy to address them as best as I can. If you enjoyed this video at any point, please give it a big thumbs up. It really helps me out here on YouTube to know what type of content you enjoy seeing from me. And as always, if you're not already subscribed, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you here in my weird little family on the internet, and I hope to see you next time. Bye, guys.